Micklow, and I'm here at Musink with Travis Barker. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I've been coming to this festival for so many years, since before you owned it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind. I don't own it either. I wish I did. I just curate the event. Like, I make sure like the right tattoo artists are here.
Yeah.
I make sure the right cars are here, along with my friend Bobby Tribal, and I make sure all the bands kick ass. That's my job.
They do.
Make sure it doesn't get boring or repetitive.
It's always such an eclectic festival with the artists that you bring in.
Yeah.
Or that you curate to bring in.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I always try to throw it off like one day, do something a little bit different.
Which is tomorrow.
Which is tomorrow, but like, and I feel like sometimes when I go to a show, I want to learn something too. Maybe those kids or this crowd doesn't know who City Morgue is, or Zillakami,
Yeah.
who's like a legend in his own right, like with what he does, or Horror,
Yeah.
which is like, I don't know.
I've heard really good things about that one.
They're insane. It's like, for me, obviously it reminds me of Bad Brains. I bet that's probably the most comparison. But then they also like have rap music too, so it's like, I don't know. They mix it up well, and then of course Limp Bizkit, and I get to play all my favorite songs in between.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
But you also just played drums on Fat Mike from NOFX's solo album.
Yeah, Cokie the Clown.
Yeah, what was that like working together? You guys are so similar, but also so different.
Yeah, I love Fat Mike. I grew up on NOFX. I was raised on NOFX, really. Like, I was raised on like Epitaph, honestly. Like RKL, NOFX, Rancid, Total Chaos. I loved all those groups. So yeah, Fat Mike would always come to Blink shows back in the day, and we've always remained friends, and we've even like talked about sobriety and just everything. And then honestly, the last thing we ever talked about was music, oddly enough. And then he hit me one day, he's like, hey, would you play on my side project? And I said yes, and literally 24 hours later we're in the studio recording.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You accomplish so many things in a day, and I've always really admired your work ethic. What motivates that, and how do you choose what projects you collaborate on and kind of what you're getting into?
I have a friend of mine who says I work like I'm broke.
Yeah.
And I kind of do. But I was broke. I'm not a rich kid. I wasn't, born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I never want to go back to having nothing. And I love what I do. Not a day of playing music feels like work.
Yeah.
And I'm spoiled, and I get to work with musicians I love. Like I'm just about finished with the Suicide Boys EP, which is like one of my favorite groups of all time. Like, I love Scrim and Ruby. I think they're so talented. I just did something with Germ, who signed to their record label.
It's cool.
I have a project coming out with Uno the Activist. I've been in with Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
So I work with people that I really, truly fuck with and I love. That's my, that's kind of like my passion.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like, too, it's like once you've been poor once, you'll never forget it, and you never want to go back, and it always just feels like you're right on the edge of it, so.
Yeah, and music, like I said, not a day feels like work.
Yeah, because it's what you love, and when you're an artist, you have to do it. It's not always about the money. It's about your need to create.
Yeah, and the challenge, to create really great stuff. I feel like it's like an architect in some ways. Even like the festival, like you're building something.
Yeah.
Even if it's an EP or a song, that's kind of how I kind of view things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Also, last question, Transplants. You guys announced, Transplants is like one of my favorite projects.
Yeah.
Like that you've done, that Tim has done. So you guys
thank
announced that you're finally starting to write a new album. Do you, like, how far along are you? And do you have a release date?
We were going to, and then everyone wanted to get in like immediately. I'm not opposed to it. I obviously would do a Transplants album, immediately with my eyes closed. It's like one of my favorite projects as well that I've ever been a part of.
Because it's so different. It's like has that punk, then it kind of has that hip hop, and then it's like kind of like hardcore, and it's just really aggressive.
Yeah, it's every genre kind of mixed into one. But yeah, I love the Transplants. If and when the time comes, I'm definitely about it. I love it. I'm finishing up a Blink album, which is probably going to be one of the most important Blink albums.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which takes a lot for me to say.
Do you think you'll play some of the new songs at Back to the Beach next month?
I don't think we will.
Not yet.
I think we will, because it's 20-year anniversary of Enema the State. I think the idea is playing Enema from front to back.
That'll be cool.
And then coming out, for an encore and just playing like greatest hits.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time
today. Yeah, of course.
Today.
It's always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What's up? I'm Travis Barker, and you're watching Last Rockers TV.
the baby.